So, hello. Today is the second practice DBQ that I want to go through. In the last video, I showed you how to outline DBQ, and this is the World DBQ it's on the website. You don't have to do this, but I highly recommend that you do. It's good practice. It's not an official College Board DBQ, another two, and it's actually pretty good practice. So you have your 5 documents, and this will look familiar to you if you've looked on the website. And I think it's excellent practice. A good thing to see how I do it as a model for yours. Okay, so that's the DBQ. This just came out today. Today is Friday, the 10th, and College Board they officially made a rubric, which is much better. I put this on the website, so I want to take a look at this. I think it's a lot more clear what they want. It's a pretty good model or explanation of how to get a 5, that's your goal, right? So you can look at that on your own. I do want to go through the sample of DBQ answers I wrote, and I try to keep this in the 45-minute time frame. That was the hardest thing. I really think that's going to be difficult to write, to read, to organize and write a DBQ essay in 45 minutes is a huge thing to ask. I'm thinking do the best you can, but you want to complete this, so keep an eye on the clock for sure. Okay, context and thesis we've done 100 times before. Context, obviously World War I. And the idea here, this whole DBQ is about non-white soldiers, whether or not they gain equality and respect from the white Europeans because of their service during World War I. And the answer, you probably know, is no. People are of course happy to have help during the war, but when the war is over, even during the war, non-white people were not treated fairly or equally. So the context basically just talks about World War I, and why there was a need for more soldiers. Okay, and that's pretty straightforward. I think most of you guys could do that quite easily. The thesis, I try to keep these fairly simple. I like the word although. Although tells the reader, hey, that's my thesis. And the some and most are my evaluation terms. So some non-white soldiers gained respect, most did not. Okay, so that's my thesis. Fairly simple. I think your thesis sentence should be more than just a few words. It could be a couple sentences, so I think this is probably in the middle range, but definitely you want to have more than just a few words. Okay, first body paragraph, topic sentence. Okay, you want to always have a topic sentence. The documents, that's how you list it. You don't write out document, just put doc 3, doc 5, for example. That's the way you write it out. You don't want to label your things like a POV is, outside learning is. Don't ever do that. Okay, and do not quote more than a few words from the documents. That's a big mistake that kids make. Sometimes their entire DBQ is just a collection of quotes. You won't get any points for that, so no quoting. Okay, topic sentence. I use the first document. I describe why that helps my thesis that some non-white soldiers gain respect. And then you do a POV or sourcing. Some teachers call it HIPPO. You want to basically analyze the document a little more. Why it was created. Why was document 3 created. Here it's just a photograph. It was probably just propaganda. Maybe it's not even real. It's just a fake picture. So I put that in there. And I go on to document 5. And document 5 talks about a man that is looking back at his life many years later. And he basically says he gets more respect. He was able to talk to a white man in a way that he would never have done before the war. My POV, number 2. And by the way, you only need 2 total, but it's always a good idea to do more than 2. In case your POV is no good, you have a third one as a backup. They're going to give you credit for that this year. Sometimes they don't. Okay, so POV number 2 is that, hey, maybe this was just, it's not a very accurate interview. Maybe he's just forgetting things or trying to make himself sound better. Okay. Outside learning, that comes in. This is all still under your first body paragraph. So you have your documents, your POVs, and your outside learning. Here I talked about outside learning was how valuable the soldiers were, especially from India during World War I. And that comes from your historical knowledge. And you guys are great at that. I think everyone has a ton of historical knowledge. All right, second page. Second body paragraph. Okay, doc 1, POV. Man was a minister. It's not clear if he was white or African. Doesn't really matter. He's basically talking down about Africans, how they were uncivilized or understand the war. My POV there is that he has good intentions, but he obviously shows prejudice. So just kind of describing his tone of his document. Alright, document 4 is probably the most important document of all of them. It talks about an Indian soldier that is treated badly by his co-soldiers. They won't even sleep next to him. They hate him. The word hate is used there. Very powerful document. You would definitely want to use that. My POV for that is that he was talking to another friend in India, so he felt more free to criticize his European colleagues. So that's the POV is basically talking about why this document was created. Okay, document 2, kind of twisted a little bit. To me, it was the weakest document. Basically, this man from India, a soldier, saying that he doesn't want to have respect from Europeans because Europeans are wrong. Not the greatest document. You can just briefly put it in there. You want to use all the documents because you get credit for using 4 of the 5, but it's always good to use all of them. Okay, outside evidence here talks about how the non-white soldiers were treated badly during the war, given poor equipment and lack of artillery coverage. That just comes from my own historical knowledge. You could have something different. Okay, last and least important paragraph is the last one, number 4, and this talks about the complexity. I just repeated the thesis, and I added a thing about how this lack of respect for soldiers that fought World War I continued during World War II. It was a major cause of the independence movement in India. So my complexity is a connection to a future event, World War II and independence of India. I think this might get me that 1 extra point there. You know, I think I did pretty good on this AP test. That might got me that 10th point. Okay, so go over this. You can pause it. You can see it. Use this as your model as you complete your DBQ, which is going to be due now on Tuesday. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, have a good one.